Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into something specific, something fascinating. It's a sales process, but for a very unique group, mobile home park owners.
It really is unique.
Yeah, and it's not just about, selling a piece of land. It's much deeper. It's about trust, understanding motivations. I read somewhere the average owner holds onto these parks for, what, over 20 years?
That's right, often decades. And that statistic, it tells you everything. This isn't your typical real estate deal.
No.
You're dealing with legacy, with emotions, with someone's life work. So just talking features or price, that won't cut it. You have to connect, build real trust, speak their language, as you said.
And we'll be talking about something called commitment questions quite a bit today. Maybe just briefly explain what those are for folks who aren't deep in sales theory.
Sure. Yeah, simply put, they're strategically designed questions, not just chit-chat. The goal is to get small agreements, micro-commitments they call them, from the owner along the way. Each yes makes the next yes easier, moving them towards that final decision. It's about building momentum.
Got it. So our mission today, unpack this specific 10-step playbook. It's designed to help teams, really connect with these park owners, build out essential rapport, figure out their specific needs.
And ultimately close more deals.
Yeah.
But, crucially, by framing the sale as a solution.
A solution to their problems, right, and a path to maybe retirement or whatever their future vision is.
Exactly. It's moving way beyond just a transaction. You're not just offering cash for the park, you're offering a transformation, maybe, for their life, their legacy.
It sounds like a real masterclass in empathetic strategic selling.
It is.
Yeah.
It shows how a solid process used with, a human touch can be incredibly powerful.
All right, let's dive in. Segment 1 is all about laying the groundwork, building trust, uncovering those needs. Step 1, the warm-up and profile.
Right. This is your very first interaction.
Yeah.
And the playbooks suggests kicking off with something like, based on how long you've owned this park, you've probably seen it all. I imagine it would take a stick of dynamite to get you to sell, right?
A stick of dynamite. That's memorable. Why start there? Seems a bit bold.
Well, it's clever, isn't it? It does a few things. First, it shows respect. It acknowledges their long journey, their experience.
Okay.
Second, it kind of disarms them with a bit of humor. It's not a hard sell. You're inviting a conversation, not pushing an agenda. And it gently opens the door to talking about the future, their plans, without being threatening. It's a small commitment to just thinking about change.
I like that. But I can also imagine, could that backfire? If someone's maybe more reserved, could it feel a bit blunt? Or like you're just missing your attachment? How do you read that?
Oh, absolutely. Delivery is key. You have to read the room, as they say. The humor in the dynamite line usually softens it. If they laugh or lean in, you're good. If they seem a bit stiff, you pivot immediately. Something like, you've clearly poured so much heart into this place, it must be incredibly hard to even picture letting go.
Okay. So you adjust based on their reaction. The goal is connection, not just the line itself.
Precisely. Start a real conversation.
Okay, so we've warmed them up, started profiling. What's the next concrete step to really understand the park?
That takes us straight to step 2, the assessment. And this is quite practical. Your team actually uses a spreadsheet, sits down with the owner, and collects all the detailed property information.
A spreadsheet. Okay. Sounds thorough.
It is. And that's the point. It's not just about the data itself, though that's vital. It's about the act of doing it.
How so?
It demonstrates seriousness, professionalism. You're showing you're genuinely committed to understanding their specific business, their park.
Yeah.
You're not just throwing out a random offer.
Right. It signals you're not wasting their time.
Exactly. It builds confidence right from the start. You could almost call it a silent commitment from them to take this seriously, because you clearly are.
Makes sense. It feels like the process itself is part of the persuasion. Are there common pitfalls here? Like, do teams rush this part or miss key details?
The biggest mistake, treating it like just checking boxes, like it's bureaucracy.
Yeah, I can see that.
You need genuine curiosity. Don't just note, okay, X vacant lots, ask why. What's been the toughest part about keeping those filled? Those follow-up questions, they're gold.
Because they lead somewhere else.
Because they lead directly into the next crucial stage. Step 3, pain points and urgency.
Okay, so you've got the details, now you pivot.
Gently, yes.
Yeah.
You steer the conversation towards their frustrations. The goal here is to identify areas where maybe the park isn't hitting its potential or where management is becoming a hassle.
And there's a commitment question for this too.
Yes. Something like, okay, Based on our chat and the details, we've spotted a few areas. Potential missed income, maybe management becoming a bit of a headache. Which of these, if any, concerns you the most? Is it maybe the occupancy rate or the day-to-day grind of management, or perhaps not having the time you'd like for, say, retirement?
Interesting. You're letting them choose the pain point.
Exactly. And that's the strategic power. Many salespeople jump right in with, here's your problem, here's my solution.
Right.
But in this kind of sale, high-trust legacy involved, that's a huge mistake. When they name the problem, the management headache's really getting to me, it internalizes the need for a solution.
So they own the problem.
They own it. The dynamic shifts. It's not you criticizing their life's work, it's them telling you what's frustrating them most. That's a massive micro-commitment towards wanting change.
So instead of you pushing, they're kind of pulling the solution out of you because they've identified the need.
That's smart. Why is it so vital they say it first in this niche? What's the risk of jumping straight to solutions? Because if you point out the flaws, especially in something they've nurtured for 20, 30 years, it can feel incredibly critical, presumptuous even.
Yeah, defensive shields go up.
Instantly. But if they voice the concern, now you're aligned. You become partners in solving their problem. The biggest pitfall of jumping ahead, you simply haven't earned the right to offer your solution yet. Until they acknowledge a real pain point exists, your solution is just noise, irrelevant.
Okay, that groundwork is crucial. Understanding the needs, the pain, building that initial trust. Now we shift gears slightly, demonstrating your team's expertise and starting to shape the solution. Step 4, about our company.
Correct. The aim here is pretty direct. Address potential concerns about who you are and how you operate head-on. Nip those, we need to think about it, or we need to research you. Stalls in the bud.
So you bring it up proactively.
Yes. The commitment question is something like, do you have any questions at all about our team, our approach, how we typically work with park owners like yourself, based on what you know so far? Do you see any reason why you wouldn't feel comfortable potentially partnering with us down the line?
That's quite direct, asking if there's any reason they wouldn't feel comfortable.
It is. And it's powerful in this context. Remember, these owners care deeply about who takes over.
Right, the legacy aspect again.
Exactly. So being transparent about who you are, your track record, your values, especially demonstrating you specialize in mobile home parks, that you understand their world builds huge confidence.
Yeah.
It tackles trust issues proactively. You're not waiting for doubts to fester. You're giving them reasons to trust you. It can really speed things up.
It's interesting because, like you said, sometimes sales processes hold that about us stuff back. Is there a risk of sharing too much too soon, or is this transparency uniquely suited here?
In some sales, maybe. But here, the buyer is arguably as critical as the price. They're not just selling land, they're passing on a community, often. Knowing who's taking the reins, that you understand the nuances, that you respect the tenants, that addresses a massive emotional hurdle, the fear of the unknown successor. It shows respect for their concerns.
Makes sense. So once that trust in your team is solidified, we move to step 5, the strategy. What's the goal here?
The core goal is to get the owner to agree, conceptually, that their life would genuinely be easier and perhaps better if they weren't managing the park day to day anymore.
Okay.
It's about framing your purchase not just as a transaction, but as a holistic solution. For their business, yes, but also for their personal well-being. It acknowledges their past hard work, but paints a clear picture of a less stressful future.
And the commitment for this step, it sounds quite significant.
It is. It goes something like this. Look, you've built something truly special here, done a fantastic job over the years. A single decision now, letting a dedicated professional group take over the reins. That could be a really wise long-term investment in your own health, your sanity, your ability to actually enjoy retirement, wouldn't you agree?
That focuses heavily on the personal benefits.
Heavily. And then you add reassurance. We'll focus on beautifying the park, improving things for the tenants, continuing that sense of community, while you get to collect your cash and finally step away from all the day-to-day headaches.
Wow. That's powerful. It feels less like selling and more like offering relief.
That's the genius of it.
Yeah.
It blends acknowledging their past effort, validating their journey with a very compelling vision of the future. Health, freedom, peace of mind. Those often resonate much deeper than just the dollar amount. And critically, it reassures them about the park's future and the tenants' well-being. That legacy piece, again, it provides real psychological comfort. And getting agreement on that is a major emotional commitment from them.
So it masterfully shifts the focus. It's not just about the asset anymore. It's about their personal peace, their legacy. How does framing it this way help prevent the conversation from just becoming a haggle over price later on?
Because it creates a competing value proposition. It broadens the definition of value. If you've done this step right, when you eventually talk numbers, they aren't just weighing your offer against some abstract market value.
Right.
They're weighing the money against relief from stress, against more time with family, against seeing their park continue positively under new management. It's a much richer, more complex equation than just dollars and cents.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Then comes step 6, the business model. What's the objective here?
This gets more specific. The goal is to get the owner to agree that your particular way of operating a park, your business model, is actually a good fit for their specific park.
So moving from the why sell to the how it will be managed.
Precisely. The commitment question is direct. Do you have any questions about how our specific model works? How we aim to create a win-win for everyone involved, owners, tenants, us. Based on what we've discussed, would you have any reservations about putting our system, our approach to work right here in your park?
So it's direct check for alignment on the operational side.
Exactly. It tackles practical concerns head-on. Are they worried you'll change things too drastically? Do they have doubt about your methods? This forces any objections about how you'll run things into the open. Getting a yes here means they're not just okay with selling, but they're conceptually okay with your way of managing the future of the park. It's a commitment to the future state.
This feels like a really crucial checkpoint before talking numbers. What kind of hidden objections tend to surface at this stage? What should teams be ready for?
Often it's concerns about the tenants. Are you going to raise rents through the roof? Or what about Mrs. Jones, who's been here 30 years? Or sometimes it's just a belief that their way, the way they've always done it, is the only way that works for this park. They might think your model is too corporate or not personal enough.
Right.
So this step is your opportunity to address those unspoken fears directly. Explain the benefits of your system for everyone and build confidence in your stewardship.
Okay, so we've built trust, understood the pain, aligned on the strategy, even got buy-in on the specific business model. Now we're heading towards the close. Segment 3, navigating to the close and ensuring satisfaction, starting with step 7, the pre-close.
Right. The goal here is subtle but important. Get a conditional yes to the idea of closing the deal today if the terms are right.
A conditional yes, how does that work?
You frame the sale as something that's likely going to happen eventually anyway. The commitment goes something like, so as we've been talking, realizing the value tied up in this park, moving on to your next chapter. That's something you probably see yourself doing eventually, right?
Yeah.
If not right now, then maybe in the near future.
Establishing the inevitability.
Exactly. Then you follow up. Okay, so since it feels more like a matter of when than if, let me show you how we could potentially make that happen today in the smoothest, most profitable way possible. If I can demonstrate how you can get the absolute best value for your park, maybe even get that cash working for you sooner than you imagined, would you be open to at least exploring getting this started right now?
So it links the when to the now by offering a better path today. What if they hesitate? Is there a fallback?
Yes, the outline mentions an alternative if they resist the today framing. Something softer like, okay, I understand. As I mentioned, we are prepared to make a special offer right now.
Yeah.
How about we just work through the numbers together, see what that price could look like? Fair enough.
So even the no keeps the conversation moving towards price.
Precisely. The core psychological strategy is positioning the sale as an eventual outcome that acting on now could actually make easier and better for them.
It addresses hesitation by normalizing the decision. That's clever. It takes the pressure off the if and shifts it to the when and how. But how do you deliver that without sounding, pushy? Or like you're assuming the sale?
It's all in the tone and the foundation you've laid. If it genuinely flows from the previous steps they've agreed on, pain points, your strategy, your model, then it doesn't feel pushy. It feels like the next logical step.
Right.
You're not forcing the conclusion. You're acknowledging the direction the conversation has already taken and offering to facilitate the inevitable in the best way possible. It's about being helpful, consultative, not just closing.
Okay. So that leads us directly into step 8, the price and seller financing. This is where the numbers come in.
Yes, but it's more than just stating your offer. The goal is twofold. First, to negotiate and really isolate the price range the owner is truly comfortable with. You're aiming for a verbal agreement on an upper bound figure they'd accept.
Getting them to name their number, or at least a range.
Ideally, or react to a range you propose. But the second goal is crucial and often overlooked. Positioning seller financing not as a compromise, but as a potentially superior option for them.
Interesting. Tell me more about that. Usually, seller financing is seen as helping the buyer who maybe can't get traditional funding.
And that's the common misconception you need to overcome here. This step reframes it entirely. It pivots from just price to a comprehensive financial solution.
How?
You highlight the benefits to the seller. Significant tax advantages compared to a lump sum, steady passive income without any of the management headaches, potentially a higher overall return over time. It's presented as them continuing to invest in their asset, but passively, safely.
So it's not a fallback. It's presented as an upgrade in some ways?
Exactly. It's a reframe, not a concession.
Yeah.
It lets them anchor on a comfortable price while also seeing the long-term financial wisdom of a structured payout, especially if they're heading into retirement.
So seller financing becomes a strategic tool to deliver more value to the seller, not just a cash flow solution for the buyer. What's the biggest hurdle you face when proposing this? What do sellers misunderstand?
Many immediately think, oh, so you can't get a bank loan, or is this risky for me? They assume it's less safe or less profitable.
Right, the traditional view.
So you have to educate them, show them the math on tax savings, explain the security of the note backed by the property they know intimately, detail the reliable income stream versus market volatility. You have to demonstrate clearly how, for their specific situation, it can genuinely be a better financial move than just taking a check. It's about making them see it as a smart investment strategy.
Okay, fantastic. So the price is comfortable, the structure works, maybe seller financing is even seen as a plus. Now what?
Now comes the moment of truth. Step 9, the close. This is where you convert that agreement on affordability and structure into a firm yes for today. It's the first unambiguous ask for their business.
The direct ask.
Absolute direct. The commitment is simple and confident. Okay, based on everything, we can get this done today for 6xxxxx.
Just state the price.
State the price clearly. And then the playbook suggests either extending a handshake, a physical closing signal, or asking a direct closing question like, are you ready to move forward and start your next chapter?
Wow, no ambiguity there.
None. This moment requires confidence. But it's earned confidence, built on all the previous steps, all those micro commitments. You've addressed their pains, gained their trust, agreed on the strategy, the model, the price. This is just the final verification.
Yeah.
It shows you're serious, ready to act, and ready to deliver on everything you've discussed.
After all that careful buildup, talk about the nonverbal versus the verbal close there. The handshake versus the direct question. Is one better?
They serve slightly different complementary roles. The handshake is powerful nonverbally. It signifies partnership, agreement, finality. It's a physical confirmation. The direct question, are you ready, is the final verbal check. It leaves absolutely no room for doubt or misunderstanding. They have to say yes. Often you might use both, state the price, pause, then ask the question, while maybe starting to extend your hand. They work together to really cement the decision.
Okay, the deal is verbally done, but it's not really done yet, is it?
Not quite. That brings us to the final step, step 10. Reassurance in paperwork. This is absolutely critical.
Why critical if the deal is agreed?
Because buyer's remorse is real, especially with a decision this significant, selling a legacy asset. The goal here is to prevent that, finalize everything smoothly, and reinforce their confidence in the decision they just made.
So it's post-close care.
Exactly. The actual commitment was made in step 9. Step 10 is procedural but emotionally vital. You shift into education mode. You walk them through the entire closing process step by step. You outline the timeline clearly. You explain exactly what paperwork is involved, what they need to do, what you'll handle.
Making it feel easy and managed.
Precisely. A sale isn't truly successful until the owner feels good about it, long after they've signed. It's your team's job to make the administrative part painless, transparent, and professional. This reinforces that they made the right choice with the right people. It solidifies the relationship.
It sounds like this final step is almost a continuation of the trust building, even post-agreement. What's the long-term payoff of nailing this step beyond just avoiding issues with this one transaction?
It's huge. Reputation, referrals. It's everything in a niche community like mobile home park owners. They talk to each other. If one owner has a seamless, respectful, positive experience from start to finish, especially during the often stressful closing period that word gets around, it builds your reputation as an ethical, reliable partner. It not only secures that deal, but opens doors for future ones. It ensures their memory of the transition is positive, which respects their legacy.
Wow, what a comprehensive process. We've really walked through it, all those 10 steps for engaging mobile home park owners, from that initial warm-up and profiling,
Right, through uncovering the deep-seated pain points,
demonstrating expertise, crafting solutions that address not just the business, but the person,
aligning on the strategy and model,
navigating the price and financing creatively.
all the way to that confident close, and crucially, the post-sale reassurance.
It's such a clear illustration of how practical steps and a deep psychological understanding have to work together.
Absolutely. This playbook really drives home that selling effectively, especially in these kinds of specialized high-trust markets, isn't just about the property or the price. It's about skillful expectation management. It's about building genuine, empathetic relationships.
Yeah.
And it's about providing a truly comprehensive solution, one that goes way beyond the finances to touch on the seller's personal well-being, their peace of mind, and yes, their legacy. It really highlights the power of a well-designed process when you apply it with that human touch.
It really does. This deep dive today into such a specific sales process, it really shows that the most effective selling isn't about pushing something onto someone. It's about expertly guiding them, guiding a client through a really carefully built story, a narrative of solutions, of empathy, of future benefits.
Well said.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? How often do we maybe overlook the incredible impact of having a thoughtful, well-designed process for building trust and reaching shared goals, not just in business, but maybe in, well, all our important interactions?
That's a great thought to end on.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you can take some of these ideas, the empathy, the strategic questions, the focus on holistic solutions, and think about how they might apply in your own world. Until next time.